What's going on, arcade nerds? You know, it's been a long time now. It's been a while since I did a walk around of my collection, or what I could put in the house at least. And I wanted to take this time to talk about two things in this video. In this video, I want to talk about a new vector machine that I have, and I want to talk about an arcade show that I'm going to do. I'm going to have my own arcade show, and I'd like you guys to come. Anyways, long story short, the exact date is not set in stone yet, and I would like you guys to give me some input. I'm looking at a place that it's local to me somewhat. It's about an hour away. And I want to do an arcade show. And this arcade show is going to be different than all the other arcade shows that I've seen, at least, in one important aspect. But before I tell you what it is, let me give you some past experience that I've had at an arcade show. Okay? I once brought 60 games to an arcade show. And you know, arcade shows, they usually give you, well, they'll tell you, well, you can get in for free. Or maybe sometimes they'll give you a free t-shirt if you bring games to a show. Something like that. Well, I brought 60 games, 60 nice games to an arcade show once, and right above my 60 games was this huge, like, 15-foot long banner that said, "Thanks to Galloping Ghosts for bringing all these games." You know, and it's not a big deal. I have nothing against Doc Mack. I think he's a pretty cool dude. So don't get me wrong there. But I thought, man, I didn't get any credit whatsoever for bringing these games. And so it kind of like stuck with me a little bit. Like, man, you know, if I had a show, I would give all the people credit, you know, about, you know, that they brought the games, or do something for them, because it's the collectors that are that make the shows. You know what I mean? So I want to make a show that is for the collectors, by the collectors. And everything that I want to do is not really set in stone yet, but I'm going to talk about some of the things that I would like to do. Okay? Well, here's what I'm going to do so far. Okay, so far, the building that I'm looking at is going to cost $3,500 or $4,500 to rent for the weekend, depending on if I want 3 days or 4 days to rent. Okay. By the way, I'm going to bring about 100 of my own games to this show. And well, anyways, so there's a cost right there. That's going to cost me $3,500 or $4,500, depending how many days I want to do. And I thought, well, how about this? Once I make my money back, in other words, let's say the entire show is going to cost me $6,000. That's just a guess. I don't know. But let's just say the show cost me $6,000. Well, once I reach $6,000, that means I have broken even. Okay? Well, this is what I want to do. The second I break even, I want to have a profit sharing with all the collectors who brought their games. In other words, after we reach the show's cost, any profit after you reach cost, the rest is profit. Correct? Any profit will be split with all the games, all the people who brought games. 50-50. Me and whoever brought their game. And so there's different ways that I'm thinking about doing it. I just got off the phone with a buddy of mine, and he had a good idea. I don't want to make it too complicated, though. See, he says make 3 different classes. Make like A class, B class, and C class. And then if you have if you have like a game that would be considered class A game, like, you know, top notch, people want to see that game, then give them more credits, and then have the credits equal so much money, you know. So I could do that, or I could just go for numbers. You know, just bring a game and you get 1 credit. You know, that kind of seems fair in a way. Also, I don't know. I want this to be fair for everyone. You know, at the show, I'm going to have an auction. There's going to be an auction of, if, you know, and if no one helps me with this auction, I'll bring all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make this a good show, and I think it will be. And you know what? I would like you guys to please leave comments in the comments section underneath this video. And this is important to me. I'm going to go over and I'm going to put some deep thought into whatever comments you make. What can I do to make this show for arcade collectors and arcade players? I want to make it fair for everyone. I'm not in it to make money. Hey, it's nice to make money, but I don't want that to be the cause of this show. How can I make this... Oh! Breaker went out. How can I make this... Yeah, breaker went out. They all went out. Bastard. Yeah, it runs for about 20 minutes and the breaker goes. I need to change the breaker. It's the breaker itself. But anyways, I want to do this. I want to do this right. Well, my opinion is right. You know, I don't know. But please leave me comments. I still do not have a name for the show. I was debating on calling the show the Arcade Jason Show, but I don't want people to think that I'm vain and I have to have my name on the show. I just thought if I call it the Arcade Jason Show, if any of you guys recognize the channel, maybe you would be persuaded to go to the show. Oh wait, that's the Arcade Jason Show. But after some thought, maybe that makes me look vain. You know, I don't know. So I was also thinking the arcade breaker. I was thinking the arcade nerd show. What about the arcade nerd show? Does that sound good? Does it have a good ring to it? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, this is set in stone. This will happen. Do not have a specific date. I would like some input from you guys. What should I call the show? Give me some ideas on things that you would love to see at a show. You know what I mean? But okay, so what I want to talk about here is Space Race. I made this cabinet from scratch. There never was a Vector Space Race, but I really wanted one, and so I made it from scratch. What I did was, there's a local place around me that they sell like surplus industrial supplies and things like that, and they sold like tabletops. This was a tabletop right here, and these tabletops were $2.50 a piece. So I got 2 tabletops, and they sold kitchen cabinets that were disassembled. You know, you could build your own kitchen cabinet. So this is made out of kitchen cabinet parts. These boards were like $3 a piece and whatever. I'm like, oh man, you know, for a poor guy like me, that's a pretty sweet deal, you know. So I did that. This is a 23-inch Vector monitor that's connected to a modified 19V2000 Vector chassis. Also, I do happen to have a brake press. I bent this steel myself, and the joysticks I'm using came from a rotten Tank arcade machine. They only go up and down. And I don't know if I can show you this in the video. You might not be able to see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There is a 12-inch woofer. It cost me $50. It's a cheapy woofer. Cheapo woofer. And I have a homemade 100 watts, I should say. I wish. 100 watt amplifier. But anyways, also I just used some plexiglass and tint. But believe it or not, I probably have like $100 in making this whole cabinet. It's just junk that I put together. It looks pretty cool though. I think the coin door is a little low. But anyways, let's play some Space Race. Believe it or not, this is a Vectrex game. As you guys know, I love the Vectrex. But this was a Vectrex game, and the guy who programmed, his name is Chris. I was talking to him, and I says, man, I really wish, I love your game, because it reminds me of Atari Space Race. There's a lot of history with Atari Space Race. See, Atari made a game in 1973 called Space Race. It was a raster game. I actually own a board, and I have the Space Race clone called Midway Asteroid. But I just like this game, and it has an old feel to it, and I wanted to try to make some sort of cabinet that had an old influence to it. It looks kind of modern maybe, but that was my thoughts in my head. I want to make it look old. Plus I worked with whatever I had. Anyway, so let's play a game of this. This is originally a Vectrex game. There is a mini Vectrex PCB inside. I call it the Fredtrex board. And I burned my own ROM. This is a modified version of his game that is more arcade friendly. I asked Chris to do that, and he modified the game code for me, and I put the insert coin in there. That's about the extent of my knowledge. I put 1 or 2 player game, insert coin, and Chris removed all the extra stuff that was scrolling across the screen. Anyway, so let's get this game in play. So the way I have it set up is, if I were to push this up, I have 1 player. If I were to push this joystick down, I have 2 player. So then 2 people can play. And the controls just go up and down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press it up. We're going to play a 1-player game, and we can watch me play some Space Race. Oh, and the woofer sounds awesome on this. The idea is not to get hit by the asteroids or space debris, whatever that is, and you want to get to the top as much as possible without hitting anything, of course. And the more times you get to the top, every time you get to the top, your score increases. The idea is to get to the top more than your opponent. I am backed away as far away from the machine as possible, so I can sort of get everything. Doesn't seem like much, but a 23-inch screen for black and white is just huge. I love it. I think the tinted glass, the tinted plexi, went pretty nice also, because it just makes all the graphics look like they're floating. And I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but this woofer is like shaking all the windows in the house. I can turn it way up too. But I figured this is a good playable volume. But you get the idea. I'm not going to sit here and play it. Wait, I'm getting there. I'm not going to sit there and play it. But that's what the ship looks like. And this, it denotes how much time you have, and it goes down. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking about pulling this out to show you, but I don't feel like it. But let me talk about that show some more. I would. Oh, also vendors. A lot of people, a lot of these shows, they charge vendors to set up. And this is what I'm going to do. I found out at the place that I want to have the show. The guy charges me $6 for a table and $6 for each chair. So if you want to be a vendor at this show, all I require you to do is to pay $6 for each table and $6 for each chair. I'm not going to make profit off of you. I want vendors at the show. I don't want to, be greedy about it. Well, that sucks. Stupid breakers. I need to rewire I need to do some rewiring in this house, and I need to change a breaker. It sucks. All these put together, they draw a lot of current, man, when you add them all up. But okay, guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to give me some sort of input about what you would like to see at an arcade show, and give me some kind of clue. What should I name this show? It's difficult to name a show. It's difficult for me. I need some smart guy to give me a good idea. All right, guys, have a good one.